Welcome to the Australian Grand Prix in Melbourne for what no doubt will be an intense day of racing. We go racing today then in the state of Victoria, where the drivers have 14 corners and 3.28 miles to navigate at an average lap speed of around 120 miles per hour. The close proximity of the barriers make accidents inevitable, and recent history shows us that a safety car is not at all out of the question. So with the race not far away from starting, here's what today's grid rundown looks like. World champion Max Verstappen starts from pole position, and starting next to them is George Russell. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Perez, Leclerc, and Sir Lewis Hamilton, and Sainz, Joe, Mick Schumacher, Gasly, and Fernando Alonso, Ocon, Magnussen, Yuki Tsunoda, and Bottas, Stroll, Vettel, Lando Norris, and Nicholas Latifi. Ricciardo and Alex Albon picks up the last spot on the grid. Which of these talented drivers will come out on top today? And what would any Grand Prix weekend be without the one and only Natalie Pinkham? Why don't we kick off by discussing Max Verstappen?
Well, it was a really impressive lap in qualifying to get pole position, but are they going to be able to hold on to the lead into the first corner with so many quick starters around them? A couple of favourites for the win today then, but who comes out on top doesn't really matter as long as they give us an entertaining show en route to the checkered flag. And we want to see fair fighting, of course, out there on track, so let's hope the stewards don't have to get involved too much today.
Okay, this is Mark. I need you to stop cutting the corners. If you keep it up, the stewards are going to give you a penalty. You've been given a time penalty for that last incident, mate. DRS is now available. Hey, if you don't behave yourself from now on, we're going to end up disqualified. Gap to your teammate ahead is 47.1 seconds. Okay, this is your final lap of the race. If you continue to cut corners, the stewards are going to give you a penalty. Be careful. Okay, black flag, we're out of the race.
A great race then, and a fantastic victory here at Albert Park. So, Natalie, what do you think helped them deliver this result?
I think a large part of the result comes down to temperament. They were able to keep their head when everyone around them was losing theirs, and that has allowed them to get the best out of the car, to maximise the strategy and stay out of trouble.
Ferrari are at it again. An excellent performance at today's Grand Prix, and they're certainly a team that know what they're doing out there. So then, Natalie Pinkham, who would you rank as your driver of the day?
Daniel Ricciardo would be my driver of the day. He just outright refused to make any mistakes. Perfect driving.
Well, what an end to another fantastic weekend of racing. Thanks to everyone who joined us, and we'll see you for the next one. It's time to hit the track then, as we embark upon another thrilling round of Formula One racing here at Imola. Welcome to the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix. One lap of Imola, anti-clockwise of course, unlike most Formula One circuits, will take our drivers round 3.1 miles of track. 19 turns, 9 right-handers and 10 to the left. Drivers will need to be precise at the hairpin at turn 7, given the subsequent uphill section. Without a good exit from that corner, they'll lose a lot of time on that stretch. Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. An immense lap from Lewis Hamilton yesterday puts him on pole position. And a very happy Carlos Sainz will start second. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Russell, Verstappen, Charles Leclerc and Perez, Magnussen, Tsunoda, Gasly and Fernando Alonso, Ocon, Joe, Valtteri Bottas and Mick Schumacher, Latifi, Albon, Lance Stroll and Lando Norris. Vettel and Daniel Ricciardo fills the last spot on the grid. It's almost time for those 5 red lights to go out then. Let's see who can prevail today. Anthony Davidson joins me once again in the commentary box. Ant, it's fantastic to have you with us here, but I'm curious, as a man with experience out on the track, how do you stop those pre-race nerves from becoming overwhelming when you're lining up on the grid?
Well, I imagine they'll be starting to feel the adrenaline as they anticipate the run down into turn 1, a bit like preparing to go into battle. The unknown situation will bring nerves, but that's a good thing. It will keep them focused on the moment and on their surroundings as we build towards the start of the Grand Prix.
Okay, here we go. I know what you can do. down before hitting the corners. We don't want to get a penalty. Right, you've been pushing your luck on track limits too much, and we've been given a 3-second penalty. Okay, we've been given a time penalty. It will go against our finishing time at the end of the race. Get your head down and let's get it done. Up, we're going to get disqualified. Be more careful out there. Okay, mate, I'm afraid that's race over. The stewards have black flagged you.
That's a fantastic performance from Ferrari. It hardly looked in doubt. Tell me, Ant, how do you think they were able to deliver such an incredible result today?
Well, time management probably played quite a large role in the outcome of this one. As ever, it's not just about speed, it's all about maintaining that speed consistently over a stint, over a race distance. So being able to keep up the lap times while still being smooth on the controls and gentle on the tyres, that's really where the race was won today.
And here we are, a team that is no stranger to the podium, taking their place on top once again. A sublime race today, and a stunning win for Ferrari. Well, after an incredible day of racing, who was your driver of the day, Ant?
Charles Leclerc showed exactly how to manage yourself out on the track today. He was almost flawless.
We're here in the coastal shores of Florida for the Miami Grand Prix, which has become the 11th Formula One track held in the United States. The grandstands are packed for what we hope is going to be another fantastic race. Sitting at the southeastern coast of Florida, the Miami International Autodrome has 19 corners and 3.36 miles of racing. It's a circuit designed to encourage close racing while meeting the highest safety standards. Either way, I'm sure it's one that will please the fans. So with the race not far away from starting, here's what today's grid rundown looks like. An immense lap from Carlos Sainz yesterday puts him in pole position, and it's Charles Leclerc in P2. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Hamilton, Perez, George Russell, and Verstappen. Ocon. Anthony Davidson joins me once again in the commentary box, and it's fantastic to have you with us here, but I'm curious, as a man with experience out on the track, how do you stop those pre-race nerves from becoming overwhelming when you're lining up on the grid?
Well, I imagine they'll be starting to feel the adrenaline as they anticipate the rundown into turn one, a bit like preparing to go into battle. The unknown situation will bring nerves, but that's a good thing. It will keep them focused on the moment and on their surroundings as we build towards the start of the Grand Prix.
Okay, here. I'm afraid you've been given a time penalty for that last incident, mate. Late turn-in meant we had a slower than planned pit stop, I'm afraid. DRS now enabled. DRS enabled. Gap to the car in front is 27.5 seconds. Okay, this is your final lap of the race. OK, pick up rubber and bring it home.
They've done it then. A truly magnificent win here at the Miami International Autodrome. Well, Anthony Davidson, a resounding victory today, but what set them apart from the rest?
I really feel the track layout combined with the track temperatures we saw today suited their car. These cars come alive when the tyres are just at the right temperature, and the driver did a great job managing that as well. They just look so comfortable out there. It's like anything, it always looks so easy when it all just clicks.
Here come our winners now, a thrilling race and a tremendous effort by Ferrari. Their history is well known, so it's no surprise to fans the world over to see them come out on top once again. Some amazing talent out on the track today, but Anthony, who would you pick as your driver of the day?
That's got to be the Flying Finn. Wait, how many Flying Fins have we had now? Anyway, I'm talking about Bottas this time. Just great raw speed, and a good job in traffic as well.
Well, what an end to another fantastic weekend of racing. Thanks to everyone who joined us. Well, it's a pleasure to have you join us here at the Circuit de Barcelona Catalunya as we proceed through to race day to see just who will claim victory at the Spanish Grand Prix. The Circuit de Barcelona Catalunya then, a high-speed 2.89-mile circuit which demands an efficient downforce package and bravery on the part of the driver, especially through the blind right of turn 9, which we might just see taken flat out this weekend. Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. What a qualifying yesterday for George Russell. He'll start today's race from pole position. And it's Charles Leclerc in P2. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Hamilton, Verstappen, Carlos Sainz, and Perez. Fernando Alonso, Magnussen, Tsunoda, and Guan Yu Zhou. Gasly, Bottas, Mick Schumacher, and Ocon. Norris, Latifi, Lance Stroll, and Alex Albon. Vettel and Daniel Ricciardo fills the last spot on the grid. It's almost time for the lights to go out, so let's head down to the track where preparations are underway. And a warm welcome, of course, to my co-commentator here today. It's Natalie Pinkham. Should we kick off our conversation with George Russell?
Well, it was a really impressive lap in qualifying to get pole position, but are they going to be able to hold on to the lead into the first corner with so many quick starters around them? So we're in for an exciting start, I'm sure, and then they'll all settle down a bit, try and find a rhythm as they plan the next phase of the Grand Prix. It's important to know when to push and when to hold back so as not to overcook those tyres early on.
Okay, we've been given a time penalty. It will go against our finishing time at the end of the race. Get your head down and let's get it done. If you continue to cut corners, the stewards are going to give you a penalty. Be careful. DRS now available. Before hitting the corners, we don't want to get a penalty. Up, we're going to get disqualified. Be more careful out there. Race over, take care of the car on the way in.
So Mercedes have won it, and what a great race it was. Natalie Pinkham, how do you think they were able to set themselves apart today?
Well, I honestly feel it was down to the driver and car today. I mean, we could talk driver skill all day, but if you don't have a solid team to back that, you're never going to get anywhere. When you hit that sweet spot of having both an excellent driver and an incredible car, that's when you see results like those that we've witnessed today.
And I can see the drivers starting to approach the podium for the victory celebrations. A real team victory today. Everybody played their part. Congratulations then to Mercedes, your race winners. Let's focus on the driver of the day. Natalie Pinkham, come on, who do you pick?
Well, there's no question in my mind. It has to go to George Russell. What a performance. He's got every right to be proud of what he accomplished.